did mention. We're going to watch the action, Jerry Ngobeni against Jackie Beard. We're going to pick up the action at the end of round number 2.
As he sets outside, it's Ace Murata, by the way, one of the great cut men of the world, working in that same corner. Very calm, very cool. They know exactly what's happened. Across the way, interesting enough, Don Byers does not get inside the ropes with Jackie Beard. He works outside the ropes. And, of course, Jackie Beard, self-managed, really kind of dances to a little different drummer right now.
Well, maybe, Sam, Jackie feels that his space is being invaded if the corner men get in next to him. He feels probably slightly bigger, slightly better if he's in total control of his own corner.
Jackie Beard, that stare across the ring, listening intently to Don Bowers outside the ropes and looking at his opponent across the way, who, again, unofficially in our cards, picked up another successful second round and leads by a couple of points in the unofficial card.
Our referee, Mr. Leone from the Italian Federation, in fact, the chairman of the Italian Federation of Boxing, gets this round 3 going, Jackie Beard and Jerry Ngobeni.
Ngobeni, with 17 victories and only 1 loss, has 12 by knockouts, thus nicknamed the Bomber. And certainly Jackie Beard has felt combinations, not the big punch that Jerry would like to throw. But again, as this fight wears on, an overweight Jackie Beard could be in some trouble against a very lean and mean Jerry Ngobeni. Now in round 3. Good right hand by Beard, but countered by Ngobeni with a combination. Staggered Beard backwards, and he gets off his heels and tries to come forward again. But Jerry, again, very much under control.
He's working the head down to the body and working his way back up again. It's nice to see when a boxer is thinking about what he's doing, Sam. There's that right going out to Beard's head. It's beginning to sting Jackie Beard, that right. Good body shots again from Ngobeni.
Any successful fighter will use angles. Certainly Brian Mitchell will come straight ahead. But in the championship fight, watch as he goes left and right to get his shots in. That's what Jerry Ngobeni, under the tutorship of Harold Borbeck, is doing very well here in round 3 against Beard.
And, of course, under the tutorship of Brian Mitchell, because they've trained together, they respect each other, and Brian's been very helpful to Jerry Ngobeni.
By the way, Brian was a little undecided if he wanted to watch this fight or not. As a matter of fact, he said, I want to slip out and maybe catch a round, but that's it. I got other work to do.
Here we are then, round 3, Ngobeni against Jackie Beard.
Beard again, back on the heels. Ngobeni up on the toes, moving, jabbing, coming behind it with the right hand, as Robin pointed out, using good up and down motion. To the body, to the head, doing a little head hunting right now.
Beard, they still managed to get that foot forward, Sam. He's a dangerous fighter in his way. He can just harm you very quickly. He's pushing forward, he's leaning on. He's got to do it because he's so short. He's always going uphill, so to speak.
Jackie Beard at 5'5", weighed in at 61.5 kgs, which that makes him 135. And of course, on the other side, 59 kg at 130, even for Ngobeni. Very comfortable weight for him. Had no trouble with the weight this morning.
Well, I would guess, actually, by the time these two guys got in the ring, Jerry Ngobeni is probably 62 or 3 kg. And I would think Jackie Beard could well be up to 65, 66
You're right.
now.
You're right.
This morning they were looking at 6 o'clock in the morning for a sauna in this town of Aosta, and nothing was open, so they had a real job to get this man's weight down.
Well, he could have run up Mount Blanc, but I don't guess that would do much good.
He might not have got it back again.
That's true. What a beautiful area here. And, of course, a possible host city for the Winter Olympic Games in 1998, and they are all abuzz here in this beautiful Italian Alp city. And a golden opportunity because Japan seems to be their biggest competitor. And they feel they've got to step up because their facilities are already here, and Japan has to improvise theirs.
Anyway, that's 8 years away, Sam. They're putting a lot of effort in already. Just shows you what you have to do to get an Olympic Games to come to your town. End of round 3 there. How do you see this fight, Sam?
I still see Jerry very much in control with his jabbing, moving style, and Beard back on his heel. He got rocked early on in round number 3. Caught his balance, but again got a good combination. Now, as you watch him in the corner, look how heavily Beard is already looking a bit through his mouth. Yes. On the other side of the coin, Ngobeni setting comfortably, swishing the water in his mouth. And that's a good sign. He's not spitting it out real quickly, which means he's still breathing comfortably through his nose.
Also in the corner there, Murphy Griffiths with Harold Volbrick. Murphy Griffiths, of course, the co-trainer of Brian Mitchell. Everybody gives a hand, I think, in the Roderick Berman Golden Glove stable. They all help each other. If they're world champions or not, they're all willing to give a hand, listen, learn, give advice, and so on. Harold Volbrick just giving the last-minute instructions for round 4. Here we go then, round 4. Jerry Ngobeni in the red corner coming out against the yellow-shorted
Jackie Beard. 23 years old is Jerry Ngobeni, so his future is very much ahead of him with 18 fights already and 17 by victories. And by every imagination, already in the top 10 in the IBF, could climb rapidly with a win here tonight over Jackie Beard. And now, unless Beard loads up with a good right hand, it may be just a matter of time until Ngobeni totally beats him down here as we move to round 4. Ngobeni unofficially with 3 solid rounds and 3 solid victories on our card, Robin.
I think the last round and a half, Sam, we've seen Ngobeni coming forward a lot more. He just shipped a little punch there from Beard, but Ngobeni starting to hurt Beard.
Beard has come back in this round, and he's found a new weapon. It's called a left hook. And he caught Ngobeni going the wrong way and nailed him pretty good with that left hook. And now you see him on the inside. This is where Beard now feels he must be. He has to work inside on Ngobeni and avoid the movement of Jerry.
Ngobeni's corner saying, keep him out, keep him out, keep him out, move away.
Got to. Just has to keep range and angles and movement to get the punches.
Well, just as we said, Ngobeni was doing well. He gets caught in a clinch and he takes a few punches there. Once again, Ngobeni's being sucked in. He's almost being pulled into the fight that Beard wants. He's got to keep away if he wants to keep on top of this man, Sam.
There is one thing about this crowd you will find in Italy. They enjoy their fighting, but they want people to box. They want some action in that round. They will sit quietly until they don't see enough, and then they'll let you know. And if you don't respond, then the referee will. So there are very knowledgeable fans here in Italy and enjoying the action so far here through round 4.
Jerry Ngobeni being warned there to keep his punches up.
There's that left hook again by Beard. Caught Jerry right on the temple. They have to work on keeping that right hand up a little bit. And you know, there's the right cross on the inside by Beard. So instead of the right hand, it's the left hand that's starting to slip in now by Jackie Beard.
Jackie Beard blowing, mouth wide open now, puffing against that gum guard.
Jerry tried to load up for the right hand, caught it off the shoulder to Jerry. Ngobeni again using the angles, using the distance to get his punches. One thing about being this much weight, and we're looking at 5 pounds at the weigh-in, as we indicated, it could be as much as 8 or 9 pounds separating these guys now. If Beard does start to lean on Ngobeni, it's almost like taking a couple of 2 or 3 punches, solid punches in a round, when a guy leans on you, because you're literally holding your weight and his weight up as well. So that's one thing Jerry has to avoid as this fight moves on.
Well, you're basically finding out your weight division, Sam, so it's another ball game altogether.
Ngobeni still is doing what he has to do. Beard is still prodding, still throwing some punches.
Couple of good shots here from Ngobeni. The crowd now rising to it. The crowd want to see some real good fisticuffs here. Ngobeni almost obliging them, Sam. I think he's taking to the excitement of the crowd. He's laying on a few punches. Got to be careful.
Beard is doing a little rope-a-dope here, if you will, just letting Ngobeni throw some uncontested punches. And there's the bell to end round number 4. Beard kind of glares at Ngobeni as he goes back to his stool. But again, a good round by Beard in the fact that he landed some punches, but a good finish by Ngobeni as Beard felt the sting there near the end of round 4.
Tough round to judge that one, Sam. It could almost be an even round, I think.
As a matter of fact, that's the way I'm going to score it, and it's still a 3-point advantage now for Ngobeni. As some of the action in round number 4 heated up early with Beard starting to slip the left hand in. You know that Harold Volbrick is over saying, hey, let's try keeping the right hand just a tad higher. And Jerry trying to respond to the ice being put on the left eye. A little puffiness there. Ace Murata trying to keep it down. Here's some action in that 4th round.
3 or 4 punches here. 5, 6 punches. Were a little low one there. 7, 8, 9.
This is the rope-a-dope by Beard.
10 good punches there going into Jackie Beard without one coming back.
Beard tried to respond, but glanced one off the shoulder. Again, Beard still, you can tell the effects of the weight. Harold Volbrick with one last comment going to his fighters. They'll come out, and now they stop action for a moment to get Harold Volbrick completely out. And also, let's see.
Too much water, too much Vaseline. Not allowed.
Mr. Leone, who runs the Italian Boxing Federation. And now they're going to towel down Beard. So he's not showing any favorites here as we get ready for round 5. And now he's ordering to box. And here we go to round number 5, the scheduled 10-rounder. Jerry Ngobeni. Good look at him in the white trunks against the gold trunks of Jackie Beard. Beard now fighting out of Jackson, Tennessee. As a matter of fact, if boxing suddenly comes to a halt, he's got a profession he's very interested in. He's going to run for city council in the city of Jackson, Tennessee. Coming up in 6 months. Lost by only 100 votes the last time he ran. And feels he has a contribution to his city that he can give. So boxing is no longer in the future a politician in the makings here in Italy.
Jackie's not only got brains for the ring, he's studying for a political science major at university, so good luck to him. I think his boxing will put him through university and contribute something to his life, which is all what boxing's about.
Jackie's really had a good career, 35-5-1. He's had his shots. How many fighters do you see, Robin, that go through their whole life and don't get the one shot? He's had two. But Brian Mitchell is putting down, and now Ngobeni is really lacing some good shots on Jackie Beard here in round 5.
Ngobeni's learned his lesson. He's got to put in those shots from a reasonable distance. Don't get pulled in. He's twice as fast as Beard at this stage.
You see, he's still using the angles. There he comes from a quick left to the right, tries to throw the right hand, steps away, gets another angle, and keeps the distance. That's the key here in the 5th round.
And he's moving to his right, Sam. He's moving away from the possible danger of that right from Jackie Beard. Moving right, just keeping away, so Beard, if he wants to throw that right, he's got to really throw it from a big distance.
Jackie's last fight was the 12-round loss to Brian Mitchell, also here in Italy. So he's been some rounds, but quite obviously not in the kind of shape he's going to need to go 10 here tonight if he goes that far against Ngobeni. Got a draw with Daryl Richardson. That came back last year on October the 20th, so he's been very inactive. He went only 8 rounds there. Won a TKO in the 3rd round some 2 months earlier over Randy Wilson in the state of Mississippi, so he has not been a very active fighter, certainly here in 1990, with only one fight coming against Mitchell.
Jerry Ngobeni, of course, fought on the Welcome and Cheetah Bill in June in Rome and got himself a good win. So Jerry keeps himself active. He's fighting every 2 or 3 months. I think this is beginning to show here. He last fought 2 or 3 months ago, whilst Mr. Jackie Beard held almost 6 months out of the ring. Ngobeni piling up those points now, Sam. He's putting a lot of good punches together.
He is indeed. A headbutt actually is causing the swelling now over the left eye of Ngobeni because Beard really borrowing in with that head. And now some blood slightly from the nostril of Ngobeni. No problem right now. And no cuts visible as we watch round 5.
Ngobeni still moving nicely, then coming into Beard.
Beard
putting those punches
very tired,
together.
Robin. Very tired.
I think Beard could well throw in the towel as his own manager at this stage, Sam.
We made mention on our pre-fight analysis that if it does go past the 4th, 5th, or 6th round, that certainly Jerry would be in total command. And certainly he was here tonight as the round comes to a close, and he goes quickly to his tool as Ngobeni. You see some blood, and it appears not to be the nostril, but now maybe just inside the mouth as they'll work on that. And on the other side, Jackie Beard very, very tired. Still with a good look in his eyes at the moment, and now you see they're starting to look a little more inside.
They're trying to give him a bit of advice on how to slip and dodge and throw those punches left and right because he's not doing anything.
Well, the heart may be willing, but the legs may not allow him, as Ngobeni is certainly the man on his toes here tonight. Another solid round for Ngobeni. So now he's up unofficially on the card by a good solid 4 points here in round number 5 as we head for the 6th round. As we take a look at some of the action in the 5th, and a clubbing right hand by Beard may have been one of the best punches that he's thrown tonight.
And you see the punch which hurt the face there of Jerry Ngobeni.
Ngobeni, again, they did work on the blood. It was from the nostril. And again, Ace Murata, the man working in his corner across the way as the bell sounds, and here they come out for round 6.
I'm sure Harold Volbrecht said to Jerry, keep that pace up, you're doing well. Don't push it, just take your time.
These two fighters have had one common opponent. As a matter of fact, on that undercard you mentioned with Welcome, Eddie Pollard was the loser there in a 10-round decision by Ngobeni. Pollard also fell in a 10-round loss to Jackie Beard. That, however, came quite some time ago, back in October of 1988, to give you a little comparison of at least one common opponent these two fighters have had in their careers. But again, a 41-fight career of Jackie Beard and only 18 for Ngobeni.
Ngobeni's been stepping up in class very rapidly in the last 2 or 3 fights, and he's now reached the critical stage of his career. If he can deal with a guy who had 2 world title shots, then I think people are going to think a lot of him, Sam.
Robin, was there any question when Ngobeni was coming from the featherweight to a junior lightweight, the first couple of fights as a junior lightweight? Was there a question that he might be stepping a little too far in the weight class?
I don't think so, Sam. I think everybody realized this was a boy with 2 good hands, some good punching, dedicated. Shouldn't be a problem for him.
And there's no problem making the weight right now as he came in very comfortably at the weigh-in. Ngobeni here in round number 6. Unofficially on the cards. Not comfortable, but he is leading. And again, throwing some punches as Jackie Beard still having to pick the punches And the spots to throw him even more judiciously now here in round 6.
Ngobeni slipping those punches beautifully there, Sam. Very good.
Here's that straight left hand. Beard is just letting that come right straight through.
Beard seems to almost give up when those punches go through. He's kind of waving and swaying. I think if this goes on much longer like this, the referee's going to stop this fight, Sam.
This is going to be one of those fights, certainly, that the referee will figure in. You can just almost write that on your scorecard before this one's over.
Well, there was Beard actually banging heads against Ngobeni's so-called damaged left eye, Sam. On the wrong side of the referee, though, the referee spotted it and took them apart.
10-point must system scoring here in Italy. The referee does not figure in the scoring, however, as there are 3 very competent judges here at ringside that'll do the scoring. Jackie Beard again. If we had a punch calculator, you still could figure it's almost at least a 2-to-1. It at one point was a 3-4-to-1 advantage by Ngobeni early on in the fight, as far as the number of punches countering that of Jackie Beard.
Very nice turn there by Ngobeni. Just pushed Beard back onto the ropes. Once he gets Beard onto the ropes, Sam, he really starts to give him a stick. He gives him punishment.
Good left jab, followed by a right over the top by Ngobeni. Jerry's still very breathing nicely here in round number 6. Scheduled for 10. There's a big right hand by Beard again. Got over the top of Ngobeni as Beard stumbles into the corner. As the 6th round comes to an end, and again, just like the great pasta here in Italy, those legs look a little spaghetti for Jackie Beard at the end of the round.
I think actually Jackie Beard took a punch there, which we couldn't see very nicely. He seemed a little bit stunned. I know Jerry Ngobeni seemed to throw him over, but there was something wobbling there in the legs of Jackie Beard. Let's see on the replay.
Here's that clubbing right hand. Looked like there might have been a pretty good solid punch to the midsection. And look at the work of Ngobeni underneath.
Yeah, Beard almost kind of caving in there.
It was punches. It definitely was, as he threw a good 4-5-6 combination underneath. And Jackie Beard almost just totally doubled up over him. As a good replay by our Italian television folks here at Aosta.
Yeah, I think Ngobeni thought, well, if I can't actually get him down with those punches, I'll throw him over as well. WWF all over again.
You see, there's the only concern right now going on in Ngobeni's corner is that bleeding from the nostril. Not a problem, other than discomfort of the fighter. And that's the only comfort you see. Once again, Jackie Beard still trying to catch a good deep breath before the start of the 7th round.
Here we go then, round 7. Jackie Beard, Jerry Ngobeni from South Africa, Jackie Beard from United States of America, scheduled for 10. Junior lightweight or now catchweight contest here in Aosta, Northern Italy.
Ngobeni again comfortable on the cards. Another 10-9 round for him after a even round came in round number 5. Ngobeni right back to work here. We have had problems all over the world, though, Robin, as you know, figuring out exactly from what angle do the judges watch the fight sometime. So keep in mind, our scoring is strictly unofficial and is from our side of the ring.
I think with your experience last week in Sacramento with Lopez and Paez, you better think again.
I tell you, I really, as a matter of fact, Michael Marley for the New York Post, who was our analyst working that fight, had Paez ahead by 3 at the end of the fight. We had had conversation during one of the breaks that I felt that 2 of the rounds that he had scored heavily to Paez was a little more of an even round. I still had Paez up by 1 on my card, and all of a sudden 3 judges go 117-111 to Lopez, and it was almost a shock that it was that wide of a fight. Still a much closer fight than I think the judges saw.
Well, this fight I don't
afternoon.
think is going to go that way. I think this is definitely an Ngobeni fight at this stage. Ngobeni actually piling on the pressure whilst we've been talking, Sam. He's driving those punches left and right into Beard. Beard hasn't got a lot of answer to it. Still coming forward, but there's not much power in his response.
You know, we made mention a very religious young man is Ngobeni. Wants to be a Methodist minister. If and when the boxing career comes to a close, or for that matter, if it helps him along the way. And I go back to a young man in professional basketball in the United States who actually quit a very lucrative career in the NBA to go into the ministry and suddenly realized that he was more known as a basketball player and could get to youngsters and others who really needed the word of God by being a basketball player and a minister. And certainly Ngobeni may realize that too as his career gets brighter and even more successful in South Africa.
Well, Jackie Beard may think the same about a political career.
That's true, because right now it could be very much going sorely downhill as Ngobeni has picked him apart. Other than an even round in round 5, it has been all his fight.
Okay, but he's still got to be careful, though. He's still being caught by that left sometimes when his own guard goes down. The left coming over from Beard just clips his chin. Doesn't seem to have a lot of power. Doesn't seem to worry him, but who knows? That punch could do something.
You know, that is a good observation from the corner coming Harold Volbrick along with Murphy over there. Had to really, Murphy Griffith had to come up and had to watch the left hand because that is not something they prepared for with Baird. Certainly they knew him like a book, having fought Brian Mitchell twice.
Murphy Griffith,
right
of
hand.
course, trained him once, too.
Exactly. Right hand, right hand, right hand. And all of a sudden, Ngobeni gets caught with the left. You got to change your game plan a little bit. His Beard starting to muscle inside, and Ngobeni trying to keep that distance. And there's the bell that ends round 7. So as the 7th round comes to a close again, Baird once again coming up with some punches laid, but Ngobeni with a solid round as Ace Murata working on the nostrils of Ngobeni.
Of course, in this tournament tonight, Sam, we've got two of the great cutmen of the business in the last 20 or 30 years. Ace Murata, we can see just now, and of course, coming later, Eddie Aliano.
I tell you what, if you have any problems cut-wise, and we certainly hope there's no misfortune coming in the championship fight to follow, certainly we know they will be in very capable hands. There you saw some good punches in the replay of the last round in the 7th by Baird, but those have come so infrequent that Ngobeni has had such an advantage in the opening part of the round and in the latter part of the round when Baird really tires near the end of each round, as we had for the 8th round. And this could certainly be the twilight rounds for Jackie Baird because a very, very tiring fighter from the U.S. Well, South Africa's Jerry Ngobeni almost seems to get stronger and stronger as this fight goes on.
Well, coming out of the Mitchell influence, the Mitchell camp, this is the type of fight where Brian Mitchell himself would now step up the action, put on that pressure to see if he can break the other man.
You see the good quick movement again. Ngobeni with a good sharp left jab, follows it with a right and then bails out very quickly. Good tactic. He's got the stamina at 23, the legs under him, and certainly the boxing talents has been taught to him well to do what he needs against a lumbering Jackie Baird. Despite the fact that he has been the enemy in several fights as Ngobeni catches him on the arm, Jackie Baird, a very likable type chap to talk to. Enjoys being in the limelight as he has through his successful boxing career, but now possibly heading for that political career back in the U.S. a little more prematurely than even he wanted to. He wanted one more shot.
A couple of good shots here from Jerry Ngobeni. 3 or 4. He's chasing after Jackie Baird. Caught him with a lovely shot.
And this is the 8 count. A standing 8 being issued by Leone. A great punch, though. Ngobeni not only throwing one with the right hand, but he followed with a left-right combination that Baird was not ready for. And here comes Ngobeni. He wants to finish it here in the 8th. And the referee, Leone, may be the man that stops this one. Is Baird throwing punches to keep the fight going.
Luis Spada there, the manager of Jackie Baird, or the advisor, saying, I'm worried.
Ngobeni warned for a push. He's trying to keep the leverage in the range.
Always good to see, Sam. There's another punch.
Another knockdown in round number 8. Baird is down this time, not a standing 8. That was a great knockdown. And again, another combination with the left hand, the big one here. And the fight apparently is over. Referee Leone has stopped it in the 8th round. A TKO for Jerry Ngobeni and his 18th win as a professional, while Jackie Baird may be on the twilight of his career and may have ended it here tonight in Italy as Ngobeni celebrates here in Aosta, Italy, as he celebrates with Harold Volbrick for his 18th win of his career.
Yeah, a great win for Jerry Ngobeni. He's going to go up the world ratings now, Sam. I'm sure he feels pleased with his nice work. A really good professional demonstration by Jerry Ngobeni.
Ngobeni again getting some good punches in on Baird. He was down the first time, but this one is a clean knockdown, and he goes, well, that was the first one actually stopped by Leone, and then the second one completely down, and the fight was eventually stopped here in the 8th round on the TKO. So Ngobeni with his 18th win, and he gets his 13th by a knockout, 18-1, and South Africa's possible new future world champion continues to roll here in Italy tonight.
You count us in? You can't.
That fight recorded earlier then for you from the Pallazzo del Ghiacchio in Italy, and a win then for Jerry Ngobeni against Jackie Baird. We apologize.